Welcome, everyone, to the Up on the Soapbox podcast. I am your co-host, Brett Schaefer. We are here for episode 24, and as usual, we have a fantastic guest with us today, but we'll get to him here in a second. First, I want to start with my other co-host, Dan Piggott. You ready, Dan? Are you ready for this time? Dan, how the hell are you, man? I stole that from Bill Petrie.
Dan's born ready.
Bill throws the hell in there, so I got to take that. How are you, Dan? What's going on?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Getting ready for PrePai Las Vegas, and so that's where my headspace is. In the last couple of days, we're organizing some things. We're getting our trip planned. I can't even believe I'm saying that. It feels so different to be traveling for business. This is literally my first business travel since the pandemic broke in March of 2020. So it's been a long time. It'll be almost 2 full years, and looking forward to seeing everybody. It's going to be neat. Whoever's going to be there, we don't, it's kind of the great unknown, but we're very hopeful, and I'm looking forward to it. How are you doing, Brett?
Well, I'm doing fine, but now that you bring up Vegas, I realize that, man, we could have made so many soapbox moments about Vegas, and we have yet to do that. So maybe we'll save that for next episode. There's so many things going on in Vegas, so many reasons to love it and hate it. I always say leaving to go to Vegas is just as fun as leaving to go home from Vegas. Those are the best 2 parts of the trip. So, but yeah, I guess I am looking forward to getting back out there, and I'm going to maybe I'll double mask for the airplane. Who knows? I don't know what I think these days. So with us today, we have a fantastic guest. He's part of our founding supplier, Quinn. Quinn does all kinds of stuff, but I'm not going to get into that. In fact, we just learned that they're diversifying even more. Fantastic company. Today, we have Bruce Kolbrener. He's the Executive VP of Sales from Quinn. Bruce, how's it going, man? Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Tell us about Quinn. The stage is yours.
Absolutely. Everything is great. Had a terrific ride in this morning. I do live about an hour away. Do some remote work, but I try to be in as much as possible. I like being among people and, working with a lot of different people. Remote is good for certain things, but sometimes it gets a little low. Anyway, we're doing a lot of stuff here at Quinn. We're actually expanding our capabilities domestically with everything going on globally. We've purchased a whole bunch of new equipment, digital equipment. We're expanding our production capabilities. We actually had a really good year. We're looking at the final numbers this year, and it's been fabulous. We're really at or above pre-pandemic levels. So it's been fabulous for us. I'd like to credit Soapbox too. Soapbox has been fabulous. I do have to say I'm a little jealous. You guys are going to Vegas. I'm not going to Vegas. Last year, I didn't mind not going. This year, I'm kind of missing it, every year for so many years going to trade shows every January. And last year was almost like, wow, I don't have to go to trade shows.
It's called FOMO, Bruce. Yeah, it's definitely FOMO. But we'll send you a postcard.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. But yeah, so we've done a lot of growing. I came to Quinn in 2015. Quite a bit different company when I got here. When I first got here, Quinn was fairly new in the promo business, about 5-6 years, and actually one of the fastest growing companies. The owner of the company, Matt Quinn, is a great marketer, and he started marketing, on all the avenues in promo, ASI and Sage, and buying the ads and spending a good amount of money, but it paid off because there really wasn't a flag supplier, banner supplier like us. Today there is more so, and I credit that to Matt's ability to market and kind of get the name Quinn out there for flags. But then when I got here, it was growing, and we were only known as flags. We were Quinn Flags, and we did a whole bunch of other things, right? We did fabric displays and table covers and tents, and they all have fabric. It's all fabric printing. I start all my meetings on the soapbox about saying I'd like to say we're polyester printers, because that gets their mind off of, I'll get my flags from Quinn, but if I need a tent or a table cover, fabric display, I'll go somewhere else, because Quinn doesn't do that stuff. I can't tell you how many times when I'm talking to distributors about this, they're like, wow, I didn't know you did all that stuff. And, we send out sample packs and they get it. And they're like, scarves, beanies, arm sleeves, gaiters. I didn't know you guys did that stuff. Well, I'm like, it's fabric. We're polyester printers. We can basically print, cut and sew anything. And we do. We do. We have like product generation right right in our meetings, and we try to convince our distributors, hey, you can take certain fabrics and you can create your own marketing products, like the stretch fabric that we have, that spandex stretch fabric. It can be used in so many different ways to create so many different new products. And we have lots of discussions about that. So,
how about you, Bruce? How did you come to Quinn, and what's your background?
My background is in textiles. So I worked for a company called Annan Flag Makers.
Sure.
For about 20 years. And it's kind of funny, when I was going for the job at Annan years and years ago, I didn't realize, and I got the job and I'm like, wow, I was born on Flag Day. I was like, I guess I'm just born to sell flag, So I thought that was kind of strange. It was like karma. But before I applied and, got the job there, and I didn't even think about it. But I started there as a regional sales manager, and Annan is a different type of flag company. They're the oldest flag maker in the United States. They've been around since 1847. So, but they're more U.S. flags and state flags, and it was kind of a little cottage industry where you had dealers that sold flags to their communities and businesses in their communities, and they installed and they did all kinds of stuff. But then 9/11 hit in 2001, and it changed the industry forever, really. People couldn't get flags. I don't know if you recall that back in 2001, but you could not get flags, and the market flooded with flags from China, but nobody wants American flag made in China, right? So it was a tough time as far as the business goes, but it changed the industry a lot, and the industry started getting more into mass market. After a little while, digital printing became a thing. Digital printing hasn't been around a very long time in textiles. 2005, it came around. You had your first dye sub machines. And at Annan, we were on the bottom floor. So the company looked to me to run a new division there, kind of a separate business unit for custom products, which is kind of what we do here at Quinn now, right? So, but it was brand new. I mean, before it was old screens and squeegees, right? That's how you printed on the fabric and flags. You didn't have digital printers. You had inks and screens that you printed. So you couldn't do all this photographic imagery and this beautiful designs on flags. So ran that division for a few years and grew our custom business. But then the company wanted to go in a different direction. Like I said, they want to concentrate on the mass market. So then, they put me in charge of the Walmart account, and I was doing that. Wasn't thrilled with that. I didn't have a lot of fun with the Walmart account. It was a good job, don't get me wrong. But I kind of missed the custom and the branding and the marketing, and it was a big change, but that was the direction the company was going in. So in 2013, 2014, my wife's brother was moving out here in Pennsylvania. I live in the Lancaster area, and his wife works for Hershey, which is right there. So they moved out. We talked about it. We're like, well, we'd love to have our kids around family because we were so isolated where we were living. So we decided to make a move. And I've known Matt for a long time. In fact, when I was with Annan, I called on him. They were a customer at one time. And actually, Matt started his custom business when I ran the custom shop. And we sold a lot of product to him, but it gave him ideas, especially when he got into promo. And Annan was in promo too, but not real big. But he wanted to become a major player in promo, and he's done that. And then he decided to buy his own printing equipment, and I guess the rest is history. So in 2015, I approached him, and he was like, I think this will work. He needed a sales organization. There was a lot of work that needed to be done here, right? So I also have a lot of experience in process analysis, and I have a good ability to look at processes and streamline. And I did that in Annan, and I brought it here, and we streamlined the way we do business. We changed kind of the way we do business here, and how we concentrate on distributors. And we do sell quite a bit differently than most of our competition. While most of our competition tries to offer everything under the sun, we try to streamline the offer. We know distributors sell thousands of different promotional products. And hey, we're not a pen, we're not a bag, we're not we're not a mug. We're not the easiest product to sell. You get hit with different imprint charges and locations and different prices. So we try to standardize price and make it simpler. You know, even if it might cost us more, we try to price it the same to make it easier to sell. Instead of offering everything under the sun, we kind of streamline the offering. We only have a couple of different frames for tent. We only have, for table covers, every 6-foot table cover is the same price because we digital print, and our printing it starts white roll to roll, and we print on fabric. So we really try to make it easier for the distributors to sell our product, and it resonates with them.
It seems to me, again, I'm not really in that market, but I want to hear your expertise on this. Virtually any company in almost every industry, has a need in one capacity or another for these types of products. Having said that, are there top industries that utilize this type of product more than others? Is there, can you point to 2, 3, or 4 markets that are the strongest for you, or is it really across the board?
Well, we all have stronger markets across the board. Definitely use our products, but schools and universities use a lot of our products. We do a lot of spirit stuff, as far as spirit flags on the field, as far as the different wearables we have, and car flags, and a lot of spirit wearable stuff, and a lot of things for schools in general, from avenue banners to decorating their roads and parking lots. So, their schools are big. Auto dealers are really big because they utilize a lot of our products, from pen and strings. One of the fastest growing markets right now is brewery and distillery. They're just exploding. They do a lot of different advertising. Another one is the band market is up and coming. So while I'm talking about staples that we've had, there's some up and comers now in the industry that are starting to utilize the products more and more. But, think about it. Everybody needs signage, and every market needs signage. And the signage industry has changed more from a hard substrate, from plastics and metals to wood to fabric, because it's more versatile. It's easier to ship. It's more economical. So every market does use it in some capacity. And I have those conversations with distributors, and I'm like, let us help you become, the signage supplier to your client, because I guarantee you they're buying this stuff. And if they're not buying it from you, then they're buying it from somebody else. So we do a lot of virtuals. We do these virtual flyers that are really unique, and we customize it. We have like a marketing team here. That's all they do. They create these marketing flyer decks specific for distributor clients so they can pitch, and they work. And, we put a lot of ideas on these sheets, and we help them market for free. We do it all for free because we feel we're in partnerships with distributors, and we can help them sell more of our product. And if they're selling more of our product, then we're doing pretty good, right? So it's a win-win situation.
Well, your efforts certainly get high marks on our platform. We see that month in and month out. So keep up the good work on that. So let's move over into our soapbox moment here. And I had the honors last time. So Dan, you're up. What's on your mind today?
Soap. I'm gonna stand on my. Let me get up here. Oh my God. Okay, there you go. I'm
All right.
Get on my soapbox.
That didn't help much.
Okay.
You got to sit a little higher.
So I bought a product 2 weeks ago, and it's a new computer monitor. Okay, bought it from Dell. I don't know, giving them a shout out, doesn't matter. Anyway, my soapbox moment is I don't understand this immediate need from every company that I have to review their products instantaneously, right? I get delivered a new monitor, and in 48 hours, I'm supposed to review this. I barely have the thing set up, and I haven't even used it yet, and you want me to review this thing. I don't know why. Don't you have to opt in for that? I want to have to opt in for these things. I don't want to be bombarded with review this, review that. Does this get on your nerves at all?
Well, what I'm hearing right now is I can liken this to a situation at a restaurant where the runners will bring your food out, and you haven't even put a bite of food in your mouth, and the wait staff will come up and ask, "How's your meal?" I don't know. I haven't even tried it yet.
Yeah, so may I swallow something first?
Yeah. Well, it was kind of a rough transition to how I just left our segment with Bruce, because I said he's doing great in the reviews, and now you're just bad mouthing him. So
No.
not necessarily. I
He's
get
bad mouthing the review process.
I understand, but
I understand the whole ratings thing. Yeah.
Hit me up in 3 weeks
before you can rate it.
Yeah, let me use the product for a little while, and and I may review it, I may not, I don't know. But the point is, I just don't understand. And they're just no matter what you do, it's rate your. I went to the doctor the other day. I get a thing, rate the doctor.
Rate the doctor.
Yes, rate the dentist. I don't know what it is. It's everybody needs ratings, and they need them right away. I don't know. It's crazy. Look, ratings and reviews, people do lean on them. I do too. You go online, you read it. I get it. I get the whole concept, but let us kind of use the product a little bit before we have to review it. That's my soapbox moment.
How do you, Bruce? Do you do reviews?
Sometimes it depends. I kind of agree that. Don't send it to me a day or two after I get the product, because I have no idea how to rate it. Well, your delivery was good. It got to me, right? Is that what I'm supposed to write? No, you're right. Maybe wait a couple of weeks before you send out the request. Many times you don't know a review after you use it for a long period of time. Usually those are bad reviews because product either stops working. I had a product that did that, and I feel like going back and writing a bad review of something I like 6 months ago that stopped working.
Yeah.
So,
I find I rely on reviews. I use them a lot, but I found through the years, and I haven't done that many, I'll only do reviews if it's exceptionally good or exceptionally bad. I very rarely do I review something that's just as expected. And maybe that's
good. At least you do both, though. You do bad and good. People only do bad, right? And they only going to review it because they had a problem with it.
Not when it comes to Quinn, though.
No, definitely not.
That's right.
All right, so up now it's my turn on my soapbox moment, and this is going to be odd as I'm looking across my my guests here today with us. None of us are wearing any kind of collars, and I want to talk about neckties. The reason this is on my mind is we are preparing to send my youngest child, who's 15 and a sophomore in high school, off to a school dance tomorrow, and there's nothing worse than when a kid comes home and says, I gotta get some clothes for this dance. And then you have to go out and shop for clothes that are going to be used probably one time before they grow out of it. So one of the things that we will pull from my collection is a necktie. And I realized that since COVID hit, I've only had to wear a tie once. And I only wore it because we were feigning a fancy dinner party at a neighbor's house. So it wasn't really for anything. So I don't like them. I hate neckties. I can't put them around my hoodie. Bruce, I don't think your pop's collar there would accommodate a necktie all that well either. And Dan,
not the right shirt. No.
Your mock turtleneck there, it's not so good. But so I hate them. My first job out of college, I wore them. I worked for the county government up in North Jersey, and for some reason that office environment demanded neckties, and I thought it was terrible. I have no idea why a county organization where we were paid well below the wage of corporate America demanded that we wore neckties. Nonetheless, I think they're horrible. I don't like them. I got a couple of examples here. I want to just tell you that I have moved over to the bow tie. At this point, anytime I do have to wear a tie now, it is a bow tie. And I got that from my youngest, who loved wearing bow ties when he was a little kid. And I was like, yeah, all right, I'll wear some bow ties. So now I'm starting. I have like 3 or 4 bow ties in my collection. So what's your opinion on neckties? I hate them. Oh, by the way, in typical Brett fashion, I had to go back and look to see about the origin of neckties. So let me just drop this knowledge bomb on you before we talk amongst ourselves here. They came into fashion in the early 1600s they were pioneered by Croatian mercenaries who were serving in France during the 30-year war. Some Parisians got a look at these things. They liked them. And the young child king at the time was King Louis XIV. I had to go back and figure out the Roman numeral there. But a child king, he was 7 years old, and he began wearing one. And from there, it just caught on, and it became a status symbol at that point. And the rest, as they say, is history. So, fellas, where are you at on the necktie thing?
Well, here's what I'd like to do. I'd like you to actually demonstrate how to tie a bow tie, because I've never even.
And this is not a clip-on. This is actually a real bow tie, and it's brutal. I haven't done it that much, but I sat there with my phone and the YouTube videos, and even to this day, I still do that. But it's fun though. I do enjoy that. Anyway, so
Interesting.
where do you guys stand on neckties? You with me?
Well,
You
I'm
against
just
me?
still-
Yeah,
I'm
no,
still-
yeah, I'm with you. I hate neckties. I hate them.
I mean, weddings and funerals is about it.
Yeah.
for me right now.
Maybe once or twice a year, I think at this.
Yeah.
It's funny though, years and years ago, I had to wear it every day at work, right?
Right.
I did that. I was a multi-line rep in the late 80s and in the 90s. I
Oh
wore a
yeah, you were
tie
always wearing a tie.
making sales calls in this industry. And it took me like 15 years to realize everyone I was starting to call on was wearing polo shirts with their legs. I said, well, why am I not doing that? So
Yeah.
I after moving south 7 years ago, and this particular area is young and extraordinarily casual. I mean, their idea of formality is not wearing flip flops. So I think for me, neckties are pretty much dead. I don't any occasion I've gone to here that you would think requires a tie. Usually, if I'm wearing a tie, I'll take it off because nobody's wearing it anymore.
I'm sorry. I'm just picturing Brett in a bow tie. I'm sorry. I'm just okay.
Oh well, there's pictures. There's pictures.
I thought he was going to show us how to tie it.
That's what I thought.
You can check my self-help videos on YouTube. So, all right, Bruce, what's on your mind today?
Well, I just like to talk about, I commute. I got about an hour commute, and we talked about. I am a Jersey boy, and back in Jersey when you drove, I sit in traffic, but there wasn't a whole lot of people that drove below the speed limit. So the slow drivers out here really kill me, and I think that slow drivers should just either speed up or get off the road.
Yeah, but if they're in a horse and buggy, Bruce,
I have to deal with those too, but at least they can't go any faster. I'm in Lancaster, little culture shock out there, a lot of the Amish out there, and that's fine. They can't help themselves, but it's funny, all highways in Jersey, and here's this Jersey boy coming out, and it's all country roads driving here. So it's funny because out in Jersey, they all drive like maniacs, right? So no problem. Here on the highway, they'll drive crazy. And then you get into, a city area, which York is a city or a country road, and they're like, oh, I better slow down. And, I look at speed limits as kind of a minimum speed. Yeah. If it's 45 to 45, I think we're getting somewhere, 50's better. 50's better, but 45. Don't do 35. Please don't do that, especially when there's no allowed. So I get caught by people.
All right.
It's a big deal. It just drives me nuts.
This begs the road rage question. I mean, are we're not flirting with anything crazy, are we?
No, there's no road rage. I might go like, hello, years ago, there was more road rage. I've mellowed out a lot. Yeah, I'm a super aggressive driver. I used to have to drive in New York City all the time. I was a little out of control when I was younger, and I've mellowed over the years, and I'm much more relaxed now. And actually being out here is more relaxed, but I still want to move. I don't want to crawl, so.
Let's just say when Bruce moved to Pennsylvania, he had a full head of hair. So that goes to show you how much this affects him. So,
yeah.
I could say that. Dan, shut up. All right. So thank you for that. And I think we all agree slow drivers are a nuisance and sometimes dangerous, but
sometimes dangerous. I agree.
I do find myself getting annoyed with people, and then I look down and see they're doing the speed limit, and then I reset myself.
Right.
Because,
you can't yell at somebody if they're doing the speed limit.
That's exactly
it. Just at least do the speed limit as well.
Exactly. All right.
Do 15 and a 25. I mean, come on.
So I'm gonna hit you with your yes no question now, and this is topical here, and this will, for anybody paying attention, it will certainly date our broadcast at a point in time here. But this is a hot news topic today, especially for the Jersey boys. All right. So the Rutgers buzzer beater win over the #1 Purdue was the biggest moment in school sports history.
Did you see it?
I did not see it. No.
Yeah. Well, that takes that away. So Rutgers beat #1 Purdue last night at a buzzer beater. On a buzzer beater in New Brunswick. And
from half court, and everybody comes on. It was pretty crazy. But I figured we had a Jersey boy here.
Yeah, I figured so much.
With the red shirt too, but I haven't been watching.
Okay, all right.
I'm more into football than basketball. So.
Dan, did you have the other yes no ready?
Well, wait a minute now. What was it? Yes, no. Let's see. What were we talking about? What were our other options?
I don't know. I was trying to figure out how to get a question in there about Taylor ham or pork roll. Something like that, but I couldn't turn that into
that's a North-South Jersey thing too.
Yeah, right. And you were in the middle.
My wife calls it Taylor ham.
Yeah, you were in the middle. So, where you said Monmouth, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Very good.
Yep.
All right. Well,
So really, Rutgers, that was a buzzer beater. That game was last night, huh?
it
Yeah,
was.
I wanted to bring up I wanted to share the screen and show you. It was really remarkable because
I'll have to
within
check it
10
out, yeah.
seconds, within 10 seconds, Rutgers scores with 10 seconds left to take a 1-point lead. Purdue comes down, scores with 3.4 seconds left to take a 1-point lead. No timeouts. They grab the ball out of bounds. Kid comes up to half court. There's a guy right in his face. He throws it up from half court and darn thing goes in. And
Unbelievable.
people just freaked out. And it's the first time they've ever beaten a number one team in the country. So they're,
Rutgers had a really good basketball team back in the 70s.
76.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I'm a basketball guy. So
Yeah. And actually, Dan and I were just talking about this before we got on. My neighbor, when I lived up in Independence in North Jersey, was on that team. He was on the team. And
Really?
he, they honor the team a lot, so he's always going back to Rutgers, and it was a lot of fun. But all right, well, we'll come up with a better yes no next time, I suppose. But
sorry, guys, I'm from Jersey, but I didn't watch that game last night.
The question is, will we come up with a better yes or no? Yes or no?
All right, and with that, Bruce, thank you for your time. Thank you for your participation
Thanks,
on the Soapbox. You're definitely a part of what makes the Soapbox so amazing, and we appreciate having you there. You can meet with Bruce and the Quinn team, although it's usually Bruce and with his note taker off to the side. Well, I'm sorry, what was her name? Let's give her a shout out.
It's Tracy.
Tracy. Bruce and Tracy on the Soapbox. Thanks for being here with us today.
Thanks, guys.
All right.